This is Digital Media Europe. The following article courtesy CaribbeanNewsNow.com. Dated May 15, 2019. Allegations of bribery charges haunt Caribbean politicians. Basseterre St. Kitts. Just over 1 year ago, a British High Court judgment mentioned St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, among two Caribbean politicians who were allegedly involved in a bribery scandal that led to the resignation of an Antigua and Barbuda government minister. In the judgment, British billionaire and property tycoon, Peter Verdi told his business partner that Prime Minister Harris begged him for campaign funds, a pair of shoes and an expensive watch. Since attending an event in London for Commonwealth leaders who were guests of Queen Elizabeth II, Prime Minister Harris has avoided travelling through the British capital. The other Caribbean politician named in the court ruling is former Antigua and Barbuda Minister Asot Michael, who was taken off a British Airways flight by British police when it arrived from St. Kitts and Antigua. Harris was booked on that same flight with Michael, but cancelled at the last minute. In a May 13, 2018 story, the British Daily Mail said, Verdi was accused of bribing high-ranking Caribbean politicians. Two London High Court judges, Lord Justice Holroyd and Justice Dingemans, dismissed the applications of Verdi and his partner Dieter Trachler to keep the telephone conversations recorded by German police from being admitted into evidence in another trial. The judges noted that without going into particulars and putting the matter at its very lowest, we have no doubt that a judge considering the passages we have quoted would regard them as capable of giving rise to a reasonable inference that the claimants were willing in principle to make and to pay bribes, but felt that the Caribbean politicians, Harris and Michael, were asking for too much. In a statement released through the government's information service, Dr. Harris robustly defended himself emphatically and unequivocally, denying any involvement since becoming Prime Minister. The judgment references a period of time beginning in 2014. Prime Minister Harris cannot speak to what may have occurred before his assumption of office of the Prime Minister February 18, 2015, it read. However, Harris' Foreign Minister and Premier of Nevis Mark Brantley admitted publicly that his name is in the judgment. The transcripts from telephone conversations recorded by German police quotes Verdi telling Dieter Trachler as follows, I am taking him, Harris, and his entourage out for dinner this evening, and then we have an after party, so be ready for a big bill. But in the interim Harris said he would like a nice watch. I said, okay, and then Harris, called me this morning, Saturday, March 12, 2016, and he said, have you got my watch? I said, oh, I have got to pick your watch up. I spoke to him last Sunday at the airport hotel when he was in transit to Dubai, and he said, look, I am in favor of this, I will send my minister down. Verdi continued his telephone conversation by saying, I had a very stiff conversation with him, Harris, to the point I said, listen, you have got another 3.5 years. In 2 years' time you are going to start your election campaign, you are going to come to me and say, Peter Verdi, I need some election funding. And I am going to say PM Harris, I can't help you if I have not earned anything from this country, and then you are going to get upset, and then we are going to fall out, so it is your call, how do you want to do this? The billionaire businessman continued, I am going to have a very frank conversation with him, Harris. I mean as frank as I can get, and today's conversation is going to be yes, we are going to be in St. Kitts, or no, we are not going to be in that region. Simple, because I have not got time to go and entertain and go and meet him at airports and take him out for lunches and take 8 of them out for dinner and buy him a watch and buy him this and buy him shoes. I haven't got time for that. Now I don't mind nurturing a relationship, the guy is in power today. Harris and Peter Verdi were discussing an energy project, similar to one in Antigua and Barbuda, at which Energy Minister Ian Patches-Libert attended the official opening. The dates when German police recorded the conversations coincide with a visit that Harris made to Dubai and the United Arab Emirates from March 8 to 10, 2016. Harris was in London on his way to and from Dubai. Also recorded was a conversation concerning a proposed energy project in St. Kitts, similar to one in Antigua, at which St. Kitts and Nevis Energy Minister Ian Patches Libbard attended the official opening and is seen in a photo with Verdi. Verdi told Michael that Dieter Truchler spoke to him and Michael mentioned to him that he had initially asked for 50%. Then 30%, and Peter Verdi agreed with us, owed Michael around $1.2 million. The three men disagreed over a proposed payment of $2 million as part of the St. Kitts venture to an unnamed person in St. Kitts, only referred to as our friend by Verdi. Owed Michael is recorded in the transcript as saying, "That is too much. Come on, give me a break." Peter: $3 million. Come on. Peter Verdi said he has already asked for $2 million. Owed Michael asked, "Who?" To which Verdi replied, "Our friend." Owed Michael said, "You have no right to be entertaining discussions with him about that." We agreed. Peter Verdi: "I have not entertained a discussion with him. I am just telling you what he has indicated." Owed Michael said, "I mean, he can indicate whatever the expletive he wants to indicate." Peter Verdi said, "Understood, but..." Owed Michael asked. "He gets $1 million, they are lucky." After further discussion on the proposed St. Kitts project, Owed Michael said, "I am not working for nothing and you guys walk away with everything like in Antigua. I'm sorry." The opposition St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party called for the resignation of Prime Minister Harris and mounted a massive demonstration which condemned his behaviour in public office and called for his resignation. Douglas Whatley, former chairman of Harris People's Labour Party (PLP), said he was not surprised to learn that Harris had become embroiled in the Peter Verdi Antigua St. Kitts bribery scandal. "I am only disappointed. I am disappointed, in part, because he thinks he could get away with this behavior. Those of us who dealt with him in the PLP know this side of the Prime Minister. He is a man devoid of integrity. He has a defective moral compass," said Whatley. Amidst rumors that two cabinet colleagues were hatching plans to remove him as Prime Minister, he hastily called a town hall meeting in his constituency. Whoever carried their suit to dry clean, to get freshen up and nice up for the swearing-in of a Prime Minister, tell them there is no vacancy. There is no vacancy in the office of the Prime Minister. And I don't care how much rumors they spread, I don't care when they said, where they said, some people want to keep secret meeting, for whatever they do in the dark has to come out in the light. Whatever is done in the dark has to come out in the light. And what will come out in the light is that none of them who are scheming can hold a candle of correction to me," said Harris.